So this particular clip is from my recent Transphobia in New Atheism chat with Chrissy Stroop. I will link the public version of the episode in the show notes in case you missed it, and as always, if you want to unlock the extended and bonus episodes, please consider subscribing via patreon.com/nicemangoes. There's tons of Patreon exclusive content just sitting there waiting for you. I know these are very concerning, unstable times. The world seems to be falling apart, but if you value content during these dark days, leftist content, independent content, and if you've enjoyed my content in particular and would like to help keep it going, please consider supporting the show via Patreon. This show is entirely listener-funded and cannot exist without listeners like you supporting it. And, the instability of this moment has definitely impacted my Patreon. So if you can support it, now would be a great time. You can also help the show reach more people by leaving a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and by subscribing to the YouTube channel, which I'll also link in the show notes. And of course, my full solidarity to my lovely American friends and listeners who are watching in horror as their government lights the world on fire. Let's hope we make it out okay. The only way to get through this is by speaking out loudly about all the injustices around us today, and by standing up for the marginalized and coming together to fight this stuff. Look after yourselves and channel whatever anxiety and rage you may be feeling into protest and action, and making sure that none of this is normalized. Anyway, here's the clip. Welcome to the Polite Conversations podcast, where every episode is focused on civility, decorum, and good manners. And I'm your lovable, non-controversial host, Ina. If you know me, you know I definitely don't like to ruffle any feathers at all. Another thing that's been so disappointing about this scene in the past 15 months is that the so-called humanists, right, the people who have been loud and clear about how they put human rights first and how, that's why they're so much better than religion, because they care about humans. They have said absolutely nothing about some of the worst human rights violations that we've seen, like being live streamed.
Which humanists are you thinking about? Like the American Humanist Association, or
all of them, right? Like I'm talking about the genocide in Gaza, firstly. And,
yeah.
None of them have said anything. Like nothing. You'd think that if there is live streamed, like people being rounded up, stripped, tagged with numbers, finding mass graves, babies sniped in the head, like
destroying hospitals.
Right, hospital after hospital. You'd think that maybe
schools, bombing children.
Exactly. A humanist organization could say something about that.
You'd think. I mean, hell, they even blew up at least one aid truck.
Multiple, yeah.
And I'm sure it was done on purpose.
Of course, yeah, it was done on purpose.
Yeah, it'd be naive to think otherwise.
No, there were people also, just like you see videos of the IDF, like taking canned goods that could not reach the starving people and driving their tanks over them and filming it and putting it to music and finding it really funny. Or like the settlers with the Israeli flags, they were like ripping bags of flour and just like destroying food so that it can't get to like starving children.
Yeah, anyone who's not willing to say this is genocide is the best thing I can call them is a coward.
Not a humanist?
A humanist coward in the face of humanists who are cowards.
Anti-human humanists,
Right. It's a thing.
It's a definite thing. Yeah. The people that like to make that kind of shit their identity, you can bet that their track record on human rights is bullshit. Ayaan Hirsi Ali, who markets herself, or Yasmin Mohammed, another classic, excellent, amazing feminist hero. They're like
Yasmin Mohammed. Hey, there are good Nazis, you guys.
Yeah,
Just nice lily white just nice lily white people.
Yeah, just the grandmas and stuff. Not all Nazis are extreme. Gosh. Like, these are real people that are thought of and funded, massively funded.
Oh, if I had no conscience, I could be so fucking rich.
Right?
I have wished many times I could turn my conscience off just to get a little financial security. Then maybe I could turn it back on and do good.
Yeah, except by then, all the people with a conscience will be like, no, you can't just turn that on and off. If it's off.
And I mean, and I physically can't anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Or else I would probably, be like a, what's the name of that place? A Claremont Institute fellow or something already.
Do you remember when Dawkins used to tweet stuff like, reality has a liberal bias? And, like, they actually positioned themselves, whether they genuinely were or not, like, in opposition to, like, Christian nationalism and...
Yeah. And my sense is they weren't really liberals in the sense that we tend to use that term in the United States. If you push them, they're always like, I'm a classical liberal, which is basically a libertarian, which is basically a shithead.
Which is basically right wing. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to support it, there are several ways you can do that. You can share it online, talk about what you just heard. You can leave a 5-star review to help others find it too. And you can also subscribe via patreon.com/nice mangoes. No E in mangoes. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter before it's completely wrecked, you'll find me at Nice Mangoes. Again, no E in mangoes.